Hi guys, welcome to Spice Bazaar. I'm Swati and today I'm going to cook a very authentic dish called biryani. It's in the market since 1938. When the Turk Mughal came to India, they bring these spices and dishes along with them. Their King Timur was really fond of it, and his royal chef, they created it with lots of herbs and spices, make it more aromatic. Since then, it's worldwide famous food. If you go to the Persian country, Arabic country, this is more like a street food, but if you go around in India and anywhere else, it's more like a main food. So we got some ingredients here. It looks like a lot, but you may need just tiny bit, and we're gonna start cooking with all of that. So these are the spices I'm gonna use to create an aromatic authentic biryani, and we start with green cardamom, clove, black peppercorn, bay leaf, musk, star anise, and cinnamon sticks. The reason why I'm using the cinnamon bark stick, because it have the flavor and aroma together, so that's why we use it when we cooking, other than the round cinnamon is more for the decorative and just for the aroma. So to bring out more flavor, use the bark one. So these are the food coloring. That's a red food coloring, that's a green food coloring. It's an option to create more colors and more making your dish look more tempting. Saffron is a very important ingredient of this dish. It brings out great aroma, makes your palate go crazy to try this dish. So make sure you get a right quantity of it. Saffron. I prefer to use fresh mint and fresh coriander, but these are the great alternative. We got mint leaves, they are fresh, and coriander leaves. And we got ginger and garlic paste. Either you can just get the ginger and garlic paste together, or the quantity, if you want to prepare, is the same quantity of ginger and same quantity of garlic. You grate it together. And some deep fried shallots. You can make it by yourself, just deep frying brown onion, thinly sliced. I just got this prepared. It's easily available in any supermarkets. It's just deep fried shallots. These are the basic spices what we normally use in most of all Indian cuisine. Turmeric, cumin seed, garam masala. This is the important ingredient, the spice blend, which is called biryani mix. Kashmiri mirch powder. Again, the reason why I'm using Kashmiri mirch powder, there's a different blend of red chili powders available. This blend is the mild one. So if you want to have the flavor, if you want to have a bit of color, I would say use Kashmiri mirch powder. It's not going to make the dish too hot, but still get that slight heat in it. And the coriander powder. For the biryani, you can choose any kind of protein you would like. Today I'm cooking chicken biryani. You can have mutton biryani or beef biryani, whatever meat you like to go with. It's just not very appealing with pork and fish, because they have their own very intense sharp fragrance, which is the main idea of this dish, to create an aromatic fragrance around it. You can make it vegetarian as well. You can use potatoes, you can use soybeans patties. They exactly taste like meat, but it's made up of soybean. And that's just some fresh ingredients here. We need tomatoes, 2 tomatoes medium size. Onion size goes with the weight of the meat. So the meat is 750 grams. So we have onions according like 500 grams over here. Just weight them and it just brings out the same flavor into it. Then we have fresh garlic, around 5 cloves, and you can see the thickness. That just gives you a bit of idea if you want more or if you want less. So this is it. We got some fresh ginger and we got lemon. And cayenne pepper. Why I'm using cayenne pepper is because they still give you flavor, but they don't get too hot. Why I'm using 2 colors is to bring more colors into my dish. And this is the cucumber. This is we're gonna use to make a side dish along with it, which we go further later. So we're gonna start by cutting the fresh ingredients. I'm starting with the onion. It's pretty little different how you cut onion for the biryani. It has to be like this shape. We don't need chopped one or very thinly sliced for the biryani, because it's more like you creating a food which should be quick making. So just on a side slide. You can go a little bit thicker, it's just me. Yeah, that's it. So we're just going to quickly cut them all. The reason why I'm using the purple onion for the biryani is because the palette where I'm cooking, who I'm serving to. Normally biryani start to cook with brown onion, which is have very sharp taste, rather than the purple onion still have the sharp taste, but it's also a little bit sweeter. It's easy on the palate. So if somebody is newly getting introduced with this all sort of aromatic spices and dish, we do mix and blend, so it, like everybody can like and enjoy it. It's not just a straight shock to their palate. And another thing why I'm not using the brown onion, they get burned very, very easily, and once the onion is burned, there's nothing you can do. It's just like a smoke flavor and ruin the whole dish. But with the red onion, if you feel like they're getting over browning, you can just add a little bit of water and they boom back to shape. So safer option, use the red onion. So now onions are done. I'm starting with the garlic, and just same as I say, don't have to go too fine with that. You can just cut the chunks. The funny side of when you adding fresh ginger and garlic in your dish, you can cut the pieces size accordingly the intensity you want. The sharper intensity you want from onion and garlic, the thinner and smaller you cut them. When you just want a hint of it, you just go bigger and bigger sizes with that. So it's like if I'm cooking just for a kid's party, I would just cut my garlic like this. So like the bigger pieces, same flavor but not as sharp with the smaller pieces comes in it. I like to cook biryani like once or twice fortnightly because it's a rich dish and it's full of spices as well, and I want to keep the specialty on. If I cook it too often, it's not that special anymore. It's normally used in basically big celebration in Persian and Arabic countries. It's like a food for the riches, and when you're serving biryani, it's like you have welcomed the guests properly into your house. That's it. You can add more variation into it. You can add more veggies into it. Just make sure it's not too watery based veggies, because you're going to release the water, make the rice go too sticky. The plain flavor veggies and common veggies, it's okay. So here we got that garlic here. Now we got the ginger. Again, same thing. You cut and chop it the intensity you're looking into. If you want too intense, you go too short. If you got less intense, you go a little bit chunky pieces. You don't have to take the skin off, but it's just a preference, because the Indian meal is more about how it looks like. I don't want the dry skin looking around. It just should be more appealing. So again, just slicing the ginger. And when we start cooking, I'm going to add my ginger and garlic first into the ghee so they can immerse the flavor into it. Okay, so we heat up the ghee now, and then we're going to add some cumin seeds in it, and then we're going to add the musk. Going to add star aniseed, cinnamon, bay leaves, black pepper, cloves, green cardamom. So we're just gonna wait until it looks like a little bit reddish. So it means the flavor, as you can, when you're doing this, you can smell the intensity of the flavor these spices are mixing into the oil or your ghee. And you don't have to overcook it, and just be careful, because when you're cooking these spices, they sometimes pops out. So make sure you don't go your face too close to it, and you have a long enough spatula so you can still see into your dish. So we can see the bay leaves are turning a little bit darker, the color what we added into it, a little bit yellowish there. So this is the time we can add our ginger and garlic. So now I'm adding the ginger first. Give it like a 10 minutes stir. It's just the quality of each ingredient, how long and how quick they cook. ginger take a little bit longer, so we put the ginger first for like 10-12 seconds, and then we add the garlic in there. With garlic it's easier so all you have to wait is to wait when it gets the hole in the middle. So this is the time limit you have to keep cooking until they get hollow in the middle. I love doing cookings, and the aroma is just, you won't feel tired at all. It just keeps refresh you. It's so good. I mean, all my neighbors know what I'm cooking every day. Another thing, these spices have their own antibacterial and therapeutic values in it. Like ginger, we all know, really good for our cough. Garlic is very good for, another is anti-inflammatory, arthritis. Bay leaves, cinnamon, they all have the significant value to our health side. And now, as you can see here, it's getting a bit hollow in the middle. So this is the sign that our garlic is done. You never want to overcook any spice in there. And now we're going to add the onions. My idea of cooking is, when I'm cooking yummy, I'm going to cook yummy. I'm not going to measure the butter or the ghee. When I'm cooking healthy, it's going to be completely healthy. So today, just enjoy life. As we add the onions in there, just to save our time, if we add a pinch of salt in it, it lets the onion to cook a bit more faster. So while our onions are getting a little bit golden brown, I'm going to show you how to prepare the rice for the biryani. So for an idea, I'm taking, for 750 grams of chicken, 2.5 cup of rice, or you can say 600 or 700 grams of rice. So I'm having 2.5 cup of rice. So we are adding bay leaves, star anise, 4 or 5 clove, again 4 or 5 green cardamom. Then we're just gonna slice a really thin slice of the ginger. It just take that ricey smell out from the rice. It sounds funny, but it just makes it better aromatic side. You don't have to cut this too fine, because some people like ginger when it comes in the mouth, some people don't, so you always have an option to pick it out. So just like 4 or 5 strands. Pour that in. We're gonna add some salt into it. Don't add too much salt, because there will be a little bit salt in your biryani as well. We don't want to make it over salty. And then the ghee. Then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of ghee in there. You can add more. As I said, it's going to bring out more flavor. And a little bit of fresh lemon. A thin sliced wedge of lime juice is enough. It just helps your rice not to get too sticky. So just squeeze it into it. That's all done. And so for 2.5 cup of rice, just going to double the quantity of water, so like 5 cups of water for that, and then cover it and let it cook. You can use any method of cooking rice, just make sure you're cooking it right. Okay, rice is on the go and our onions are still getting browning. We're going to start our saffron mixture. We're going to take some saffron, and then we're going to add some milk and water in it and let it soak for like 5-10 minutes. Saffron is an amazing spice, but there is always 2 sides of the coin. You add too much, all you taste is saffron, which we don't want. Okay, so I think for an example, this is the right quantity to use for that amount of biryani. Just a couple of strands, not too much, not too less. And to prepare your saffron mix, we're just gonna add a little bit of milk, like 2 tablespoons is alright. And then add some hot water into it to let the saffron to immerse the flavor. That's it. And mix it well. It's like there is a lot of fake saffron in the market because that's the most expensive spice in the world you can find, and that's the trick. When you soak it, if it doesn't smell straight away, it's fake, and if it turns yellow too quick, it's fake. See the color? It's turning creamy yellow. It's not straight intense yellow, so that means that's this real saffron. It takes a while to come to its color. Okay, back to my onions. Okay, so see, half of them are browning and half of them are still pink, so we still need a little bit more time with that. So while the onion, ginger and garlic are still getting prepared, I'm gonna cut out my meat. So this is a grain-fed chicken I prefer because of course you're more healthy what you are in your normal diet, and the way you can figure that out is like it's more on brown side, it's not very pink. Grain-fed is more healthier side of the protein of the chicken when you're choosing for your dishes, but again it's just a preference, it's up to you. You don't have to be very specific with the shape because it's gonna mix it with the rice. This is the color we're looking here, a little bit golden brownish. We don't want to go any more darker than that. This means the onion has released all the flavor into it, and then we add the chicken into it. Give it a little stir. It's very important that when you're cooking with lots of spices and lots of ingredients, you give it a good stir because every ingredient and every spices have its own intensity towards the heat. Stirring keeps them cooking equally rather than if they sit down, one may cook perfectly but the other one may get burned, and you don't want that after all that. Just keep stirring, and now we're going to add the dry spices into it. So we start with turmeric, a little bit of garam masala, paprika, coriander powder, and our biryani masala. You can have it as much intensity you want in your dish. So for example, I'll be putting here a tablespoon of biryani masala. That's another reason you don't need to add too much salt into your dish, because the biryani masala, they have the intensity of a little bit saltiness in there. That's kind of enough, and we're going to mix it well. Stir. When you're cooking the biryani, is on each steps there is a different aroma going around in your house. Make sure you always cook a little bit extra. I have people coming in just to say hi, but the idea behind is what's in the pot, which is nice as well. See, here we got mix it up, and now we're gonna cover it for 5 minutes till the spices get a bit more blended in. See, I'm keep mixing it until I can see it's all covered up, all the meat and everything is covered up. It's not any corner left here. If left there, we're gonna give it a good stir. Stirring goes accordingly. When you're stirring it, you have to keep checking up the meat. That is, all the pieces are covered, because this is the time when the meat is gonna absorb the flavor from the spices. And then just simmer the gas and leave it for 5 minutes. Cover it and leave it for 5 minutes. So while the rice is getting ready and the meat is simmer for 5 minutes, we're gonna prep the next step. It's a bit of a step-by-step procedure, but again, it's all worth it. That's what we meant when we inviting someone special, or when we want our guests to feel special, or there's a special occasion. I'm just gonna use the half of the chili, because when you smell the chili, you can tell how intense it's going to be. Cayenne normally a very mild version of the chilies, but if I can smell it, I can smell this one is a bit sharp. So now we're gonna add our Cayenne chilies and tomatoes and ginger garlic paste and yogurt onto the meat. Make sure you cut them a little bit smaller, because this is not gonna stay on heat for very longer. So now we got our Cayenne chilies ready, tomatoes ready, ginger garlic paste and yogurt, and we're gonna add it into the meat. Just before you adding it, make sure that meat has shrunken up. That's a trick, so you don't have to keep tasting it in between. If it is shrunken up, it means it is well cooked from inside. And now we're gonna add our other spices, ginger garlic paste, when you are on this stage, you have to be very patient with your spatula, because there's a lots of water ingredients going in. If you're going too fast, it's going to be a good painting work around, which we don't want. So just be very patient when you're stirring your dish. So we mix that, and now we're going to add our chilies and tomatoes. Cayenne pepper is gonna bring out the flavor of the dish, but it's an optional thing. You can put half of the half, or you can just go nothing in there. It's all right. And yogurt. So here, for an example, I'm just using 2 tablespoons. And again, be patient and stir it nicely. There you go. And we just have to cover it and simmer it for 10 minutes till the water goes bit down. And we will be at very final stage of garnishing our dish. You make sure the less the water left in there. So guys, as per Indian, main course cannot be like one pot dish. It always comes with a little bit of sides. So as we know, the biryani is a blend of so many spices which bring out so much aroma into it, but there is some heat there as well. So to calm that heat down and make the dish more flavorsome, there's a simple dish called raita, or you can say yogurt chutney, that takes the heat off and make the dish more easier to eat from any ages, from like young to old. So we all need very little stuff for that. For biryani, especially for biryani raita, we need some cucumber, we need some plain yogurt, milk cream. Why I add milk cream in my yogurt sauce is because yogurt does have that tangy, intense flavor in that cream that takes that down and bring out a bit more sweetness into it. And then I have a fresh mint and coriander in a packet and some salt. That's all. And you just want to mix all these ingredients together and your raita is all ready. Only thing you have to be mindful is about the quantity of the salt. It obviously shouldn't be too salty, and the quantity of the cucumber, because you don't want to add too much stiff crunch into such smooth curry. as we can see, our rice is all ready here. So this is the final part of layering up the biryani. So you take a bit of curry off in a separate bowl. We're leaving this much at the bottom. Make sure your gas is off at the moment, and then we layer it with the rice. And then we're putting the second layer of the meat. And then we're gonna cover it with the rest of the rice. Cover it all around. Make sure you cover all the curry in. The idea behind it, the flavor, the fragrance, the rice cooked in, and the chicken cooked in, we're gonna mix up together. Just make sure at this point your gas is turned off. And this is where our saffron, mint and coriander we're going to add in. Take our saffron, pour it like a swirly motion. Some coriander, some mint for freshness, and now we can cover it and let it simmer for your lowest heat for at least 1 or 2 minutes. And just to be make your dish a bit more attractive, over creative, we can make some food colorings, some butter and some fried shallots. So I'm using green and red because yellowish orange tint is already given by the saffron we have used in. I'm just going to show you how to use it. So just come along. Adding a red food coloring, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go in a corner, don't spread it around because rice turns like a sponge. It's going to soak it all and we have a red biryani, which we don't want. And then I have a little bit of green. Again, I say it's optional. It's just going to make your dish look more attractive. And I'm going on another corner and just pour straight into it. Deep fried shallots, and a bar of butter. Just gonna cut it through around. So this is the stage where you can add more saffron, more cardamom, the intensity of fragrance you want coming through your dish. And I'm just going to cover it for 3 to 4 minutes and it's all good to go. So our biryani is all ready. I hope you did enjoy watching it and you're gonna try it. Please comment below on our channel if you need more advices or if you're looking for any further recipes. I'm happy to come up with that. And see you next time on Spice Bazaar. Thank you so much. Bye bye.